What's up guys, you are welcome to today's tutorial. It's Johnson here again, one of the instructors in Lolly Skill. In today's video tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to use pivot table to summarize and to reorganize our data, which is the main function of pivot table. Alright, so are you ready? Let's get started. Alright, so from the screen now, if you observe, you discover that we are having a data here, and before we actually get started, let me tell us that you cannot use pivot table except you are having your data ready. As you can see now, our data is ready to be used by a pivot table. Alright, so what does pivot table do? Pivot table help us to transform, to summarize and to reorganize our big data. This is not quite a big data, but the knowledge we acquire here, we can equally apply the knowledge wherever we find ourselves and when big data comes our way. Alright, so this is the data that cut across the name, the department, the region, the branch, the hire date and the sales. Alright, so if you observe now, we have quite a number of names here. You can see the names here. We have their department here. Their department, we have about 4 departments here: the Department of Finance, Sales, Marketing and Law. Alright, so you can see each of these departments are replicated. They are repeated here, which each of these names has been placed under. Alright, so where does the use of pivot table comes to play? Alright, for instance, now if you observe that this is Samuel. I want to check all the names that are under finance department. I'll start looking for them one after the other. This is Samuel is under finance. This is Awesome is under finance. Which other name? Glory is under finance, and so on and so forth. Alright, so when I'm done with that, I'll come again to start looking for those that are under sales department, those that are under marketing and law department. Alright, so you will agree with me that doing that will actually cost me a lot of time, and it will be too stressful for me. Now coming down to the region again, we have about 4 regions: north, east, south and west. Alright, where each of these names has been placed under. Alright, so the concept of pivot table help us to summarize and to reorganize our data. Alright, as this data is now, it is not organized, it is not summarized. Alright, so that brings us to the concept of pivot table. So how does pivot table work? How do we use pivot table? We have 2 ways of bringing about pivot table. The first way, I'm going to be showing us the 2 ways of doing that. The first way of doing that is to click outside. Just click outside of the cell, the data cell. Just click outside. When you click outside, you come to the tab here. You see Insert tab. Click on Insert tab. You see Pivot table. You click on Pivot table. The moment you click on Pivot table, you see this dialog box. You can see the table range. So it's asking us to highlight all our data set. Now this is our data set. You highlight, you bring your cursor here, you click on it, you see this dancing hand. You highlight all your data sets. This is what we call dancing hand in Microsoft Excel. So the moment you highlight everything, you observe that the data range, the cell range has been captured here. You can see now it has been captured. So the next thing we have to do now is asking us choose where you want the pivot table report to be placed. Alright, so we have 2 options here. The first option says new worksheet. New worksheet means it will take it to a new worksheet entirely. A new worksheet, it will automatically open a new worksheet. The second one says existing worksheet, that is this worksheet that we are now, it will just place it by the side of this our data set. But as it stands now, let us place it in an existing worksheet. To place it in an existing worksheet, you can just highlight this one. You can click on any of this cell where you would like to be placed it. If you like to place it here, just click here. The moment you click it, it will be captured. I believe we understand that. So that is the first way to bring about our pivot table. The second way now, which is still the same and I consider the fastest and the easiest way. Now the other time we click outside. Now we are going to just click any of the cell from your data set. Click inside of the cell, come to Insert tab, you click on Pivot table. Now by default it will capture all your data sets. You don't need to start highlighting it like we did previously. It will automatically capture the range of the data set. Alright, so you can go ahead to selecting where you will want this pivot table to be placed. As it stands now, let's place it here. When you click here, you click on this place and click here anywhere you want it to be placed, and you click OK. All right, so the moment you click OK, you observe there is a dialog box that will come out. This is what we call a pivot table feed. So this is how a pivot table feed looks like, and in a pivot table feed it is divided into two. We have the feed area and the area region. This is what we call the feed region. You can see the feed region. This is what we call the area region. All right, so the feed region comprises of the column heading. It comprises of the column heading. All right, so you can drag this to any place of your choice. Let's place it here so that we can be seeing our data set. All right, so automatically it will capture all the column heading we are seeing here, which ranges from name, department, region, branch, hire date, and sale. All right, so you will see everything listed here, all the column heading. All right, you see them here. Coming down to area compartment, this is what we call the area compartment, which is divided into 4 compartments, or if you like you can call it chambers. All right, so we have 4 chambers here. We have the filters, the columns, the rows, and the values. All right, so let me quickly give a brief introduction to each of them. All right, so in the filter region, you drag and drop any of these column heading into this filter region. Any of this entry you would like to filter, you drag and drop it here. Coming down to column compartment, I believe we know what column is all about. Column is just the vertical axis. So any of this entry you would like to place at the column compartment, you drag and drop it here. Coming down to rows, any of these entries you would like to see at the row compartment. The row simply means the horizontal axis. So any of these entries you would like to see at the row axis, you place it at the row compartment. Coming down to values, which is the most important. The value is quite different from all other compartments. It is different in the sense that any value that will be coming here, or any entry that will be coming here, must be a number data type, and by number data type we simply means numerical entries. Now if you observe from this our data set now, the only column that contains a numerical value is this sales region. That is to tell us that the only entry that will be entering this value region now is the sale. So I believe we understand that. So before we actually go ahead, I would like to tell us again that we can change the format of this pivot table feed. To change the format, just click on this drop down arrow. You can see this small drop down arrow. You click on it. By default it is in the format we are seeing now is feed section and area section tab. All right, I told us we have feed section, we have area section. So when you click on the second one, we have something like this. It changes the format of this pivot table feed. All right, so you can go with any of the format that pleases you. This is the feed section and this is the area section. So in your less busy time, you can hover around the other format so as to save time. We are not going to be doing that. All right, so let's continue. So the first thing we have to do now, we are going to drag and drop sales under this value compartment. Like I told us, it takes only numerical values. Department under row compartment, the name, and at the same time you can drag and drop. Each of these compartments can take more than one entries. It can take more than one entries. You can see here we have department and we have name. I believe you understand that. The region, let's drag and drop region on this column compartment, and we have something like this. The branch, if you like, you can drag and drop branch and place it at this filter compartment so that we filter it using the branch. All right, so the moment you finish organizing it like this, you can cancel this guy and we have something like this. You can see now, you can see what it has transformed this data to. You can see what it has transformed it to it has summarized and simplified it in the sense that initially we don't know how many of these people that are under finance department. We don't know how many of them that are under sales department. We don't know how many of them that are under marketing department. But the moment we transform this data using a pivot table, it has broken it down into their respective department. You can see now, it is obvious now that we have 4 persons under finance. 5 persons under finance department. You can see Awesome, Blessing, Glory, Jax, and Salmon. Under law department we have Clara, Israel, Melcy, Miracle, and Udon. Alright, so with their respective region, this is their region and this is their respective sum of sales. Alright, so from here now we can make an important business decision, as many of us are businessmen and business women. Alright, I believe we understand what I'm talking about. Alright, so the next thing, there are more to pivot table than this. If you come to the filter, this is what we drag and drop under filter compartment. You can see this is all everything we are seeing on this entry is what we are seeing here. This is all. You can decide to filter through it. You click on this drop down arrow. I want to filter through it. Maybe we have the branch here which cut across Imo, Kano, Lagos and Rivers. Let's say for instance I want to see the transaction in Lagos, only in Lagos. We click on Lagos and click OK. Click on Lagos and click OK. It will filter out the transaction that took place in the region or in the branch of Lagos instead of bringing everything. Alright, so when you see this funnel like icon, it means filtering has been applied. Alright, so all we are seeing here now are peculiar to only Lagos. Alright, so when you click it again, you can decide to click on Rivers and click Rivers and click OK. Alright, so this is peculiar to River. Alright, so the next time we're showing us, you can select multiple items. Before you can select multiple items, you come down to this box to select this box that is select multiple items. From here now you can decide to go with Imo State and River State, or you can uncheck this one and check both Imo and Kano. You click OK. You have something like this. I believe we understand this. So to return it back, you click it again. You click on check this one and click all. When you click all, you click OK. So it bring this back to the original form. Alright, so we have more things that are in pivot table than this. So let's come to this design. When you click on design, you see some guides that are listed here. Time will not permit, otherwise I would have taken the time to explain each of these. But most importantly, let's come to this format, report layout. By default, the format we are having here is what we call compact format. This is the compact format. You can decide to show in an outline format. When you click outline format, you have something like this, which is looking beautiful. It's looking beautiful. You can decide, you can take your time to hover around it. Show in tabular format. I personally do go with this tabular format. This is my favorite. This is my favorite format. Alright, so it's looking nice. You can take your time to hover around it and play around this. Alright, so that is how to change the format of this pivot table. The next thing I will be showing us now is the branded rows. The banded rows and banded column. As it is now, there are no banded rows and banded column. When you check the banded rows, it will apply some colors to them in a row feed. Alright, so when you click on banded column, you can see what we are seeing. Alright, the column wise, it will apply some colors to it. You can also come here to select some colors. You can select some color. If you like, you can go with this. If you like, you can go with this. If you like, you can go with any design of your choice, any style of your choice. I believe we understand this video lesson. Alright, so I trust we are following. So this brings us to the end of this video tutorial, and I believe we must have gained one or two things in this video lesson. And if we do, let's endeavor to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to click on the notification button, so that each time we release a new video like this, will be the first person to see the video lesson, so that we can upskill and to gain and learn something. So thank you for staying with me, and catch you next time. Bye bye. Do endeavor to subscribe and to click the notification bell. Thank you, and catch you next time.